Two of the things we spend a lot of time on in brain coaching are helping people with their memory and also helping them with their emotions. It turns out those are really closely related. Most people don't realize that the very same techniques that you can use to improve your memory are the ones that you've been using to have your emotions negatively affect you, because you've been remembering things from the past that continue to bother you. So you already know how to use your memory well. The relationship between memory and emotions goes like this. First, you need to understand how you would improve your memory. So I'll give you a real quick memory course. There are three really significant factors in remembering things. First is story. It turns out that the brain is wired to be able to remember things better when they're in the form of a story. That explains why all the wisdom cultures for thousands of years use stories to communicate what's really important. The second thing that the brain responds to and remembers really well is what's called physical or spatial anchoring. This is a technique that people use in the Memory World Championships. I don't know if you even know that there was such a thing, but that's when people are competing on their memories. And they use this technique that was developed 2,500 years ago of taking ideas and connecting them to physical places. It's called spatial or physical anchoring, and it conditions the brain to associate these two things, this place with this idea. So then when you think about the place, the idea comes back. So that's one of the ways to improve your memory. For example, I memorize my grocery list every day just to keep my brain working, and I can remember 30 or 40 items without any problem, because what I do is I connect each item with where it is physically in the grocery store. And so then when I get to that place in the grocery store, my brain has connected those, we call it anchored or conditioned, and then I remember it. So the first two memory techniques are story and then physical anchoring or conditioning. The third element of memory that the brain really responds to is vivid imagination or visualization. The more vivid an image is in your mind, the more likely you are to remember it. So if you want to have a very quick improvement in your memory, you would pay attention to how you tell stories, how you connect facts or ideas to places, and how vivid your imagination is. I said that memory and emotions were connected because the way that people get hung up on past events, on emotions that continue to haunt them, is they, without knowing it, are using one or all three of those same memory techniques to remember things that really they should be able to let go. So here's what you can do. You can reverse those same techniques, and you'll find it amazing in allowing you to let go of emotions that have been haunting you. First, pay attention to your story. Can you change the story of what happened? Is it really the same story that everybody else has? Is it the story that you would have now as an adult if you saw that experience? Challenge the story you've been telling yourself about this all these years, and the emotions will decrease. Second, pay attention to what are the anchors. Are there certain things that are connected with this emotion? And associate those instead with a positive. We call it collapsing the anchor, and it's one of the things we teach more in the brain coaching. Thirdly, and this is something that you can do for yourself, notice if you're having vivid images, vivid memories of these past emotional events, and reverse that process. Take the vivid pictures and just in your mind, fade them out. Make them far away, gray, fuzzy, dim. As you do that just with the mental images, it's amazing. What'll happen is the emotion just goes right with it, goes right away. So that's the basis of some of the work that we do in our brain coaching in much more depth to both improve your memory and decrease the impact of old memories, to get rid of the old negative emotions.
Right.